Here we are arriving at Delta Dental Stadium in Manchester, New Hampshire, home of the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. Nestled alongside the Merrimack River, Delta Dental Stadium opened in 2005 and has hosted the Toronto Blue Jays AA affiliate ever since. In 2003, the team was sold, and the next year moved here to Manchester from New Haven, Connecticut, where they were known as the alliteratively named New Haven Ravens. While the stadium was under construction, the team played at the smaller Gill Field for one season. While arriving here, you can see I pull into a large parking structure which is known as the Southern New Hampshire University Millyard Garage, which costs $10 for game day parking, but you can save $2 by prepaying online. If you park on the side of the garage facing the stadium, you get a nice view overlooking the property. As we approach the stadium, you'll get a glimpse of the box office, and to the right is where tickets are scanned and the stairs leading up to the seating bowl are. There's also an elevator for those who might need it. You can see that the entrance is actually in left field, which is fairly unique in my experience at minor league ballparks. At the top of the stairs is a cool pavilion and bar area where you can gather and watch the game, which is open to all fans. I didn't spend any time here during the actual game, but it looks like a great spot to catch the action, with both standing room and some tables. This is probably the best area in the stadium to be in if you're interested in trying to catch a home run ball, because I don't think any of the other outfield areas are open to fans. Gates open to the Samuel Adams Brewhouse 2 hours before game time, so for most games you'll be able to catch some batting practice as well, which is getting more and more rare these days at stadiums of all levels. Suites and party areas are also open early here, and the main gate opens 1 hour before first pitch. In left field, you also get a nice view of the visitors' bullpen and can get close to the pitchers warming up. At the top of the main seating bowl is the Concourse, which stretches from left field over to right field. At the start of it, you can see a traditional pitch speed game, and as we entered the covered area of the Concourse, you can start to see the food options that are available here. The food all seemed like pretty standard ballpark fare, like hot dogs, hamburgers, pizza, and things like that. I ended up opting for chicken tenders and fries, and while simple, they were definitely fresh and did the trick. Prices were reasonable as well for ballpark food, with the chicken and fries coming in at around $10. One thing I really enjoyed about this park was the wide concourse. This was a day game, so the crowd wasn't as packed as it could be, but I never felt crowded at all, and there's plenty of space for everyone to walk around. As we get behind home plate, you can get the first full view of the field. Like a lot of minor league stadiums, you can see the field for most areas of the concourse here. I made it a point to walk around the entire concourse, and along the way found a team shop. I believe the main one is near the entrance, and this was a smaller one which offered hats, shirts, and various souvenirs. As we venture back out, you can get a good idea of the size of the seating bowl. The stadium currently holds 6,500 fans. I enjoy the backdrop of the stadium quite a bit as well. With Manchester being a city in New England, there are hotels and businesses in the distance, but also greenery. It definitely feels like you're watching a baseball game in New Hampshire when you're here, and it just feels like the stadium belongs. Coincidentally, a few days before I came here, the stadium was named the best AA ballpark in America by Baseball Digest. As we get to the far end of the concourse, you can see a small kids zone, and right below that is the other bullpen. I enjoy how close you can get to the bullpens here, and I also enjoy how the netting doesn't extend all the way down the line, so there's a chance to interact with players. When you look across the way from the first base side, you can see the Sam Adams Brewhouse that I mentioned earlier, along with the hotel that's adjacent to the stadium. With the starting lineups getting announced, I went to find my seat, and I was very pleased when I got there. I had purchased tickets in section 109 because it looked like there would be shade for the day game, and there was, but the better part was that being behind home plate, it looked like there were multiple seats in my section with more legroom than I had ever seen at a stadium. Again, this was section 109, last row of the section, if you want to take advantage. I had mentioned the protective netting earlier, and one thing I noticed was that even by the dugouts, there's a little opening in the netting where fans can interact with players and get autographs. It may seem like a small thing, but not every stadium does this, and it's something minor that goes a long way to improve the fan experience. Getting into the ticket pricing, I found this team to be really affordable to see compared to some other minor league teams, and tickets ranged from $12 to $14 if purchased in advance. There are a couple more expensive options, but that's more for your party or pavilion type seating, and my seats behind home plate here were $14. One thing I enjoyed here was getting to see banners for some of the recent players who have come through the stadium and made it to the major leagues. In the last number of years, some of the biggest names are Kevin Biggio, Bo Bichette, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Some older players that made a stint in New Hampshire are Melky Cabrera, Kevin Pillar, Adam Lind, and Brendan Morrow, just to name a handful. In conclusion, Delta Dental Stadium is just a really solid place to watch a baseball game. While I generally do try to find the good in stadiums and cast a positive light on minor league baseball, it wasn't very hard at all to recall what I enjoyed about coming here, and I think the organization definitely deserved to win Best AA Stadium this year. There's absolutely nothing that stood out that was a bad experience on my day at this ballpark. If you made it this far into the video, I really want to thank you, and please make sure to like the video, subscribe, and check out my other stadium reviews. I'll now leave you with some scenes from the game.